We have what I consider to be a very interesting video today where we're going to attempt to combine the world of Evos and Tacomas. What? What's up, y'all? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. Like I said, we have a very interesting video today in my head in this like big overarching plan of like revamping the whole interior of the Tacoma. I wanted to do something different, and so I thought, why don't we try to put an Evo console into the Tacoma? I didn't like the one that came in. It was very heavy, bulky, very sticky, super gross from all the years of just use. And so I thought, why don't we try to put the Evo in there? So I took my console from my Evo and put it in there just briefly to see how it looked, and it was pretty close. So at that point, I thought this might be doable. So I went and found one from another Evo from someone locally, and we're gonna try to put that in the truck today. So before we get started on this thing, we gotta get it cleaned up a little bit. It's a little bit cruddy, but yeah, this is gonna be super, super fun. I hope it works. Now that we have everything completely cleaned up and totally torn apart, this will be a little bit more maneuverable and easier to see what's going on. So these two pieces on the Evo console connect together. So I'd like to keep that, I mean, obviously as natural as I can. And so we're probably gonna end up chopping off the front of this end of the console to make it all fit. And so if we get this right here, I think we're gonna be pretty close. If I take out this ashtray support system here, which I don't plan on using the ashtray anyways. I was gonna put like a gauge pod there, but if we have to get rid of it, we have to get rid of it. But yeah, I think, let's see where this, that's actually right about where I thought we were gonna have to cut it anyways. So I'm gonna take off probably from like right here on the edge of this and down and get some of this material off of here, and then we can go from there, at least on this piece. Now, for this piece, this one will be a little bit simpler. I'm gonna put the piece back inside of here, and then I'm gonna make a bracket to like mount it to the floor here where the other one mounted, and it should be right about there, which doesn't look too bad. I could probably set it back a little bit even. Where's the armrest? Oh yeah, it'll be right there, roundabout. And I can raise up the back of it. Boom. Okay, first step, I went ahead and got this taped. I'm gonna follow it along the line of this top panel and just kind of run my tape down on the edge right there. I've already cut some off. I don't wanna go too much because, you know, I can take away more, but I can't put more back on there. Went ahead and cut some of that off of there. I've tried this internet hack that I saw not long ago where like you heat a razor blade with a blowtorch and then like cut it this way. And it melts the plastic, but it also like, it cools down so fast that I would have been there for hours doing that. And so, yeah, just using the Dremel, and we'll fix it and we'll clean up these edges and all this frayed plastic and all that stuff at the end. But I really wish that idea would have worked, because any excuse to use a blowtorch I'm usually down for, but I just don't have all day to sit here and keep reheating the razor blade to cut this thing, you know? We'll just mark this with silver. That way I can take this tape off of here and this top panel so I can keep checking it. It'd be a little bit difficult trying to go in and out of the truck to test fit with this panel on there. So I'm gonna take this top panel off of there, and now with this line drawn, we will be able to, if our tape gets messed up, we'll know where we were at. Slice, dice, and pull. I keep test fitting, and I keep having to cut more and more off. So I didn't want to show you guys all of that. It's just me going back and forth, but I think I've narrowed it down to cutting it along this brace right here and following that angle down, and that should be able to let us get it into the truck and be able to see what we're working with, and then we can fine tune it from there. I have marked that along this piece as well while it was attached here, and so we should be able to just cut this thing exactly how we're supposed to be able to cut it, and cross our fingers. I'm gonna keep doing this incrementally because I don't wanna cut too much and then mess up, but yeah, it is a little bit sketchy doing this with the dash not in the truck, but really it can only fit one way down there below it with like how the dash comes down, so I'm comfortable doing this, but it still feels wrong. Okay, this should fit at least into the portion of the dash where we're trying to get it to fit into, and this is actually not too bad for a Dremel, I gotta say. I'm really happy with how like the line still like has that like angle to it and not just like a square cut off. But yeah, let's go throw this in the truck and see if it fits in there. Oh yeah, perfect. Fits right up against in there. That's about as close as I can get it. Now I see some like mounting points right here, and I cannot remember what went there, but I know the radio and stuff goes in here as well. So I'm not gonna trim out all that kind of stuff to butt up against that just yet, but that looks really good. I'll have to like trim out this a little bit. It's in first gear right now, so if we put it back here in neutral, that fits right in there. Holy crap, that fits right in there. And like I said, I may have to trim out some of that bracing around where the ashtray goes right here. This is some pretty good progress. Whew, I gotta say, plastic flying off of this stuff is like
liquid hot magma.
This thing has a real shot at working out. That's gonna put that perfectly because I mean, it's when it's hooked together, it's the same length as it would be in the Evo. So right down there is the bolt holes for the other console that was in here, and those are gonna line up. I mean, I feel like I can make some brackets. I was gonna have to make some anyways, but I can make those to fit right in there where this little like cubby thing is, and it'll bolt up to that. I'm glad I'm not just cutting this up for nothing, but yeah. I'm gonna put the ashtray in there, and then I'll take a marker and I'll mark out what I can cut out that's not like structurally important for that, and then we'll see where we're at. But this is highly, highly encouraging. There's actually a lot of that structure in here that's not really necessary once the panel is on there. So now the tricky part is gonna be getting the shifter in that little circle on this thing. That I don't have confidence that's gonna be totally correct, so we're gonna have to do some more cutting and probably some more finagling on that part of it, but I think this console is gonna fit really well in there. And the only thing that has me a little bit worried is this console, if you look here, is taller on one side than it is the other. I'll figure that out in a second, but we're definitely gonna have to cut off some of it on this side, so that way it fits the same and sits the same on the trans tunnel, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But yeah, just getting that perfect is going to be a little bit of a task. I'm going to just take out this whole section right here and get that out of the way. All right, with some heavy notching right through here, we are now in the clear everywhere. It's probably going to hit right now because it's sitting to like this side a little bit because of that like uneven part, but if it's right here where it's supposed to be in the middle, we are first, third, and then fifth, which fifth, if it's in the right spot, will be way in the clear. I just remembered that the transmission that we're gonna be running in this truck sits back a little bit farther, and the shifter is like a perch mount and not one like that where it's like super long, you know? So I'm actually gonna save trimming this top panel, this one right here, until we have that in there like 100%, because I don't wanna cut this and then it change based on that transmission and where the shifter is and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna take and cut this thing up right now. We'll leave that off, and it's not gonna matter anyway because the interior is all stripped out as it is, but this will clear the stock transmission shift throwing action. So yeah, onto the back portion where we can make some brackets and all that stuff to make sure this thing is solid when it's mounted in there. I put this piece in from the underside, how it mounts in there, and then I marked on the underside of the console here where it ended, like where the mounting points are for these bolts, like where it mounts to the floorboard of the Evo. I marked those on the inside of the console here. So now we can put this in the truck, measure the distance from that line to the floorboard of the truck, and that way we know how tall to make the bracket, and then just tweak that until we can get it to fit in there. I can't even like describe this accurately, but I'm sure it's like an industry thing to have consoles like a certain length or whatever, but it just boggles my mind that this Evo console goes in here, and if you look right down in there, if you can see it, but like the bowl holes for the console line up absolutely perfect. Could not be any more dead on. Okay, I went ahead and put it in there, measured around, used some cardboard yet again, and we got a aluminum piece here. I gotta bend it at all the black lines. The piece in the middle is where it mounts, and then the length should be good on the sides, and then this kind of like folds over. I'll bend it and show you what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to explain right now without seeing it in the truck, but let me bend this real fast and then we'll pop it in there. Yes, I have this vise attached to my frame. It's whatever works, you know what I mean? Bend. Okay. Well, this one is just a little bit too short. I didn't account for a little dip in the trans tunnel, so we'll just chuck that one to the side and start over.
Okay, so this is obviously the next day, and I just did not like how the aluminum was working. It kept getting twisted or bent or something like that, and it just didn't work out like I thought it was going to. And so I had some extra steel, and we're going to go ahead and use that, and I think that'll be a lot better, a lot stronger, and we did some tweaking to the measurements, and so it should fit a lot better now as well. And so, yeah, we'll see how this works.
Okay, we finally got the right measurement on this bracket, and I wasn't liking how the aluminum works, so we switched to some extra steel we had from the mirror mounts, and we used that. And this looks much better. It's the right height. We got it locked down in there right now with a temporary bolt, just kind of hold it in place. So let's pop this thing on, see where it sits. We'll mark the hole on top of here, drill the hole out, and we'll mount it up. Well, damn it, I don't have an M6 tap. All I have is an M7. So we'll have to wait to tap the top part of the bracket here, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one. We'll get it mounted down, then we'll set the console on top of that and make sure it's, you know, all good to go still, and we should be good. I also went ahead just now and just dremelled out all the rest of this in here because, like I said, with the transmission I'm going to use, I think we're going to have to set this thing back quite a bit. This little section right here is where the hole is, where the Evo shifter comes through on the panel we have over there. So I marked that, and I think it's going to be right around this area. So we may be able to use the panel as it is. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to drill that out and all that stuff yet, but I went ahead and marked it onto here. But yeah, drilled all this out so we could use it or whatever if we have it in the car, and we haven't done the transmission yet. So we could have some resemblance of a console in here should we have to have it. But yeah, let's go ahead and make this other bracket. All right, got both brackets into there looking pretty solid. We got the back part of the console mounted to the front part of the console. Now let's set it onto here and see where we're at. And there we have it, mounted in there. We got our holes lined up perfectly down there, and the console looks like it's gonna be pretty high and good for the armrest. Once we have the armrest on there, it'll be at least a couple inches higher, I guess, but yeah, that looks phenomenal. All right, we got the top of the console here. I'm gonna reupholster this, so I'm not mounting it back on just yet, but oh yeah, that is just right. But I mean, if the shifter is back here, it's not too bad of a reach. Hell yeah. That's perfect if you ask me. We have an Evo console in a Tacoma. That's exciting. I do want to mount a, in the front of that cup holder, it has like a little square portion, and I want to mount a switch panel right there, put like a little switch for something in there, whether it be interior lights. I want to run this thing to like a push start, so I may do that right there, but lots of ideas, lots of opportunities, and lots of things we could do here because we do have a pretty much bare slate, so that is awesome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this off here. I cannot believe that worked. I really wanted it to work, but I didn't think it would work. It's just super cool to have an Evo console in the Tacoma. Like I said, I wanted it to work, but I didn't think it would, and I am so glad that it did. Now, obviously, it's not done all the way. We got a lot of stuff to do to it, a lot more customizing, things like that, wrapping the armrest, switch panels, all that kind of stuff to get it like fully in there. But we're a long way from getting the interior done, and so this is a really good start. We know it fits, and so now all we got to do is add our little finishing touches to it at some point. So, like I said, I don't think this has been done before, so if it has been done before or you've seen it done before, tag me on Instagram, something like that. I'd love to see it, but yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very much. As always, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the console in the truck, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.